Hey, lovely people of the internet. Today I'm here with Enos, and Enos, I met him on Instagram. Well, I realized that he was a tech guru. He knows a lot about technology. So I decided to, have a conversation with him and let you guys know how tech is actually evolving in medicine. As you guys can tell, I'm a medical student. So he said he has some questions for me, and yeah, I'm here to listen to those questions and see if I can do my best to answer them.
Yes, you have to get everything right.
All right, then let's see. Let's see.
So, aside the tech stuff that we have in the hospital, when we started, the only time you see tech gadgets is when you visit the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But now almost everyone has one on their body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have the smart rings, the smartwatches.
Mm-hmm.
Which one have you spent most of your time using?
Yeah, I used the smartwatch.
The smartwatch.
Yeah. The smart ring, I heard about it recently when
Mm-hmm.
Samsung brought it out. I think last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before it became, available for the public. So I spent most of my time on the wearables, the watch.
Yeah. But you never took the opportunity to even try it on?
No,
because
I've never had that opportunity.
Yes.
I believe that's what you're having.
Oh, yeah. So once you get married, that's what you're getting.
All right.
That's what you're getting.
All right.
So, and what about the watches? The smart devices?
The watches. I used to have the Apple Watch.
Yes.
Yeah, which because things started, evolving, and obviously I had to leave it behind because if you're able to, detect, a fall with someone who's having a good watch, why not just upgrade? So I decided to upgrade it, but now, unfortunately, I don't have it yet.
Oh, too bad. I was going to go display it and let us try it out.
Okay.
But with those devices, you also need apps to pair with. Mm-hmm. Do you know of any apps that works really well in this ecosystem? Yeah.
The health app. That's what we know when it comes to iPhone. That's why I always tell people, look, if you want to start using iPhone or an Apple product, it's better you stay in the ecosystem because it's very difficult to combine different things. So the health app was one of the things I used to track my health, and it was very, very wonderful. Except if there are some questions you would want to ask specifically about it.
Because I just wanted to know which one works. Just because they are available, we want to also know how safe they are, whether reliable. 2 weeks ago, I went for a check and I think my BP was acting funny. And I was like, I have my watch on. I always check my stress level and it tells me it's okay.
All right.
So I asked the doctor, does it mean I should stop relying on the watch? Now I'm asking you.
All right. So So this is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the applications and we have the wearables, right? Now, what happens is that the hospital is the hospital, which is different from the wearables. I wouldn't trust the wearables because, they can act funny sometimes because these are machines, right?
Yeah.
Even the human being can actually make mistakes sometimes at the hospital too. But what happens is that I wouldn't trust the wearables because, look, honestly speaking, these are things made by people. These are different situations. For instance, when you come to the hospital and I'm to take your blood pressure, you wouldn't just come in and I'll take the blood pressure. I'll make you sit, rest very well to be sure I'm taking the right thing. Meanwhile, the wearables, you just finished running and obviously your heart rate is supposed to be high. Your blood pressure might go up because your heart rate is high. And obviously you'd be having a panic attack, which will again lead to your blood pressure going up. So these are things that I normally tell people, look, when things like this happen to you, the right thing to do is to go to the doctor because the doctors know the right way to measure all this stuff apart from having only the wearables.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I should just go ahead and listen to the doctor. Well, I was feeling I had to relax before. So I exactly mentioned that one. Yeah. I felt I hadn't relaxed and then the nurse took my advice. So definitely it's not going to be right. But I knew I've been safe all this while. And I know with some devices, like for the ones from Samsung, they can be a bit close to the right one. Yes. Yeah. I know Google also has their phones also checking temperature. Yeah. Now they've gotten better with the Pixel 9. So I felt like, we are close. But now the way you're talking, I'm a bit worried. Yeah. Should I still be concerned?
Yeah, for me, what I'll basically say is that, look, the wearable sometimes is okay. But we can't depend on it totally.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, they are machines. So machines can fail at any
time. But those are the same machines used in the hospital, right?
Yeah, those are the same machines we use at the hospital, but like there are certain things that we follow. The protocols, like I said, you don't just get into hospital and you get your blood pressure being checked.
Okay.
Right? But I didn't catch your story very well. Is it that at the hospital it was higher than you having the wearable?
So there I even had the calibration there, and then I realized that thing was at moderate. And on my forms, it was reading around close to high.
All right.
Yes. So they were a bit worried about my health, lifestyle. Yes, it's true. I don't find time to exercise nowadays. I sleep
late.
Yes. Yeah. And then I probably eat and then fall asleep. I've gotten that to that stage where I get so tired. Yes. So it could be that yes, those things were not helping me. Yes, but I still feel like
your watch should do the job and should tell, and it might be telling you the right thing, but just that at the hospital. Look, aside that, at the hospital, what happens is that when you are measuring the blood pressure, it's not a definite figure, right? We have ranges.
Yeah.
Well, you moving closer to the upper level, does not mean you have high blood pressure.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Situations might be different. For me, instance, when people come to the hospital, I have to measure their blood pressure 3 times just to have the average. Because what happens is that people are even panicking the moment they see nurses.
Yes.
The moment they get to the hospital.
Unless they are fine nurses. There are some beautiful nurses out there. Please.
Yeah.
I love to go to the hospital to see beautiful nurses.
Yeah, of course. But that does not mean okay, well, I wouldn't go there.
Hey, that will lower your blood pressure.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't go there. But, well, I wouldn't go there. So let's keep it as that. So it's all goes that way. So it's not just going in there and checking your blood pressure. And so it ranges. As long as you are not at the higher level or high blood pressure, if it even has grades, because what we always say is that blood pressure, when we have the blood pressure, we have certain factors attached to it. We don't just declare someone as having a high blood pressure without having those kind of factors. So they are really, really important.
So aside those, these are the most common ones most people have, like the watches and the rings. Even with the rings, because of the price attached to it, we are yet to get there. But with the watches, everyone has it. Are there other devices that you have come across that you could also talk about?
Well, I can say there are devices, but they are specific.
Okay.
You see, unlike the watches, you can have your blood pressure, your heart rate, sometimes your ECG and your blood saturation and oxygen.
Yeah.
But I believe there are wearables apart from the watches. These days, you can have someone having his blood sugar level being checked all the time continuously. The continuous blood sugar level testing. So these are wearables that you can implant, but these are things that are very rare and very specific to a certain parameter. So that's the problem we have. But generally, I see people wearing the wearables, but those ones are specific, which we will not recommend to anybody if the person have a specific, situation or problem.
So I don't know whether you've even heard about CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. They do it every year in Las Vegas. Yes.
I've never heard of it before.
You should visit it one of these days. They just finished the recent one, so maybe 2026.
I should visit.
Yeah, you should. You get to see so many health techs that. And I saw one that could actually count the number of living sperms. So it's an underwear that you wear. And then it counts the number of living sperms you have. And I was like...
Yeah, this is how far technology have gotten to in health.
I was like...
It's mind-blowing.
Yes. I was just trying to... How can you trust such
a device?
Yes. And the experts behind it made it look like this is something that can actually work. I know, yes, we've gotten to that stage that we're almost close to being perfect.
Right.
So I'm tempted to believe. And there are some that also help you massage your eyes after... So seeing all these gadgets just there, I'm thinking, would there be a need of the hospital?
Yeah, there is always a need of the hospital. I say it all the time. The problem being that gadgets don't have the empathy human beings have, because basically you can enter into the hospital with your sickness. Just talking to the doctor is enough. I've had this situation countless times, where patients, especially in pediatrics, patients come with their kid having fever. And this fever is due to the fact that the baby is teething.
Yes.
So all you have to do is just make the mother understand that this is the situation. You get it. And with that alone, the mother had, he believes that what the doctor is saying is right. It's just the empathy you're having, which most of these gadgets don't have. Like you said, it's wearable. It's something you just go and wear, and then you put it on. It counts the number of sperm you have. All right. But doctors know how to convince you, talk to you, give you the range value, and be like, no, it's not an exact number. This is range, and it gives you a clearer understanding. Mind you, most of the people using the wearables, they can't interpret even the numbers.
Yes.
Well, you can have your blood pressure ranging 120 and 80. Who says it's normal? Because like I said, there are certain factors you add to it to be sure that, look, your high blood pressure will not kill you someday. You can't just have your high blood pressure around 120 over 80 and be like, yeah, I think I have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
You could be normal because it ranges from different people. So it's very important to see the doctor regardless, for you to be able to know what value you're having. Is it interpretable? What does that tell? And stuff like that. It's really necessary. So, for instance, the empathy. This is something machines don't have. And you would agree with me on that.
That's
they will
true.
tell you the fact, but we definitely have to tell you the fact, but we have to, know the nicest way to say it, to present it to you guys out there. Okay. So that's how it works.
So I'm now a bit worried. We have viewers out there who are already having the gadgets. They've invested so much into it. What are we telling them? How safe should they now proceed? Should they rely on those gadgets now, or they should put them away? What is the kind of tips you have for them?
Well, I would say personally I use it, and I've used it before. And this is something that I use in monitoring my health, which is reliable. Why would I say it's reliable? It tells you something. It's up to you to interpret it. It's up to you to make use of it, of the data, right? Now, you rely on this gadget because it will give you a range. Now, it makes you, it worries you. What do you have to do next? It's to see the doctor. It even keeps you alert because in situations like this, where you are not having a good sleep, right? You are not having a good sleep. That's what the wearable is telling you. But what is causing your sleepless night? All right. So it has identified your problem. It has alerted you that you need to see a doctor because it's not good to not sleep. All right. Now, when you go to the doctor, he tells you like you are having a sleep apnea, which needs to be treated because you are too fat. Maybe you are not having, you are not eating very well and stuff like that. You have a high blood pressure. And when these things are solved, then your problem comes back to normal. So it's reliable, but then you have to know how to go about it when you have the information, because like you are not a doctor. You can't interpret it. Just let the doctor interpret it for you. Okay. All right. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay. So now that we know we can at least do something with it, what are the habits? Like, what kind of habits should we blend to make more use of the tech that we have? When you go out jogging, I'm just giving an example. You go out jogging with the tech, you are monitoring, checking your steps. Because and this even leads me to an example. So I woke up one Saturday morning, I was in bed, and my phone just hits me, and I checked my watch. I'm about 1,000 steps.
Meanwhile, you didn't walk.
I'm in bed. I haven't gone anywhere, and I'm like, And there are days I'll be driving, my watch is still just beeping, and then there are calories there, and they are telling me that I've burned this number of calories, and I'm like, how is this thing being worked on? Like, do you have a way that, give me a more practical example so people understand it. How does it work?
Yeah. For me, I'm not really into the technology aspect of how it works. But this is an example I gave the last time I spoke about wearables. Look, when you have your watch, and then it's meant to check your blood pressure, the blood pressure is being checked from your arteries. That means the pressure at which the blood is hitting the walls of the arteries. Now, what happens is that when you put this same watch on a table, and you ask it to check the blood pressure, and it gives you a value, then it tells you that there's something wrong with your device. All right. Okay. So this is the basic example I'll give. Let's say you were asleep, obviously, and you were not walking.
Or maybe I was sleepwalking.
Probably you might be sleepwalking, but you never know. And then this device gives you a value. You have to really check it. You don't have to rely on it. If you are really sure that you slept and you didn't do anything, you have to check it. And the aspect of driving, definitely you burn calories when you are driving, right? You don't just, because look, we sit down thinking that, okay, I'm not doing any exercise, but you think you are burning calories. It's the smallest part of you burning your calories, apart from, going to the gym, walking, writing. But the moment you start using your brain, you are burning calories, all right? The moment you start talking, you are burning calories. The moment you start seeing things and thinking about it, you are so basically we have the base, how do I even say, the base of calories we burn, regardless of what you are doing.
Okay.
So if someone is sitting there and is not doing anything, he burns calories all right, but just that he's not burning the excess calorie, because basically we have something we burn at the end of the day, but just that he's not burning the excess. That's why the person might end up becoming what? More like fat. I don't want to obese, all right?
Yes,
that's the situation.
Yes. You guys are always playing safe.
Yeah, so regardless, there is some kind of calorie you are burning, even if you are not doing an exercise. That's how it works.
Should I worry you about sleep tracking too?
Yeah, you can, because it's one thing that I've realized that they integrated in the Apple Watches.
Yes.
I don't know if it's
Samsung,
yeah.
Xiaomi.
Sleep tracking is really important, especially when it comes to the REM 1, REM 2, and where have you.
Yeah.
Now, sleep tracking is really important, with the reason being that, look, most of the time you wake up, you drive, right? Now, sleep, when you miss it, it has its way of getting into your life some other time. For instance, you are someone who is obese and you have your sleep apnea. That means when you sleep, you wake up in the middle of the night for a number of hours, all right?
Yes.
So let's say more than 5 times, but more than like, let me say 5 minutes. You don't sleep because you are not breathing. That's what sleep apnea means. You are not breathing. So you are awake. You are trying to, be awake at that moment. Now, the moment you are waking up like in this moment of the night, it has its way of getting into your life during the day. For instance, you are someone who's driving. The moment you close your eye for just a minute, you can have an accident. You get the problem. So sleep tracking is really important, and I think it's really one of the best things they've integrated in the phone for you to know at what time do you sleep, how many times do you at what time do you wake up? How many times did you wake up during the night? And sometimes when you wake up, you don't know, because it's a sleep apnea. You are not breathing. Obviously, you wake up because that's what will happen. Now, you are not conscious to be like, okay, I'm awake, I'm wide awake. And so this time I was awake. But your phone or your watch is able to track this thing to know how many times you woke up. And so you should be worried about it and see a doctor to treat this etiologist in order not to get accidents in the future.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Because I'm impressed. Like I've gotten having a conversation with you, I've learned so much. I've always been thinking how the sleep tracking works, but
yeah, it's really important because when I saw it, and the fact that they even integrated, when you come to mental health, it's something they've integrated, because this is one of the major problems we have in public health. Look, a lot of people walking around are having 1 or 2 issues, right? But with something I learned recently about the wearables, where it tells you when you are happy and when you are not happy, how many times you've been sad in life.
Yeah.
It's really important. It tells you, look, your mental health needs to be checked. And this is something we always hide off. And then from the beginning, I was telling that this alerts you. This tells you that, look, something is really going on with you and you need to see a doctor. And so these are some of the things that we have to take advantage of, which most people don't do. And I think this is the best time to talk to people about it. And so I believe they are listening very well, paying attention to it.
Well, I hope everyone got to learn something. Well, I've learned a lot. Honestly, I've learned a lot, and I'm impressed, and I appreciate it so much. Yeah,
that's how it works.
But what are your final words?
Well, my final words, right? Now, wearables are things that you can, if you can afford, you should go get it. But the most important thing is that it is there to alert you. It's not there to, to treat all your diseases, all right? It's not there to, treat the hernia you are having. So regardless of everything, you have to see the doctor. I don't know what these wearables can do for you. They can check your blood pressure. They can even check your blood sugar level. If it can, your heart, how it pumps, the electrical activity of it. It can do a lot of things, your saturation level. And these are the vital things in everyday life. And if this thing can do that, and it does and tells you something about it, you should definitely go and see a doctor with this value so it can be interpretable. Because these are things that you guys just see. Like the case of the high blood pressure. You can have 120/80. But if you have something to it, like you are obese, or you're having your cholesterol high the roof, then you have to, get medical attention. Aside that there are certain red flags, obviously. Not every, smartwatch is the best out there. So you should know the brand to get and then test it like this. In the case of the high blood pressure, you put it on your table. If it checks your blood pressure, then it means there's something wrong with it. So you should check it out. And obviously, your data are very important. Where are your data going? Is it as private? Like they always tell, it's it's your privacy.
Yeah.
And so it is kept private. But are you sure of it? Because these data are very important. No wonder doctors have this kind of confidentiality where we don't tell people about your data. But if you are giving your data when you are having your menses, when you are taking your medication, if you are giving it to these devices and you don't know where they are going, it might haunt you tomorrow. And so it's very important to be sure that your data are going to the right places. All right. So these are some red flags you have to watch out for. And yeah, I think that's what I will tell you guys. Yeah, it's very, very important. Thank you for having you on NLS. And I think I really enjoyed this conversation.
I did too. I've learned a lot.
So let's keep in touch. Maybe we can do live sessions and then, tell people about, wearables, especially technology.
This time, come with your wearables.
Okay, I will definitely come with my wearables. And because technology is really, really evolving in medicine. It's really helping. Yes. I wouldn't talk about AI today. Maybe some other time.
I was going to mention about
maybe some other time because you all know AI is all over the place. Even recently, Samsung released their new phone, and it's all about AI. Even
the features alone.
They didn't change the phone. But
at least it was a bit curved and
they didn't change the phone a lot, but the AI was always there. And so we will talk about it some other time. And I think people will love to, know what's going on in the world of medicine with AI. Thank you very much once again for having you on. And then this has been it, guys. Do well to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section and see you guys some other time. Thank you. You're welcome.